Welcome to Public Expression. My name is Ken Ramondi, and thank you for joining our second episode. For those of you who maybe missed our first stab at this whole podcast thing, Public Expression is all about giving folks like you on public sector teams an opportunity to hear from one of your own. We're going to bring people in here and just have one-on-one conversations, ask them about their career, about the unique challenges they faced, and hopefully through this simple one-on-one conversation, you'll either hear something that inspires you, empowers you, and basically helps you be better at what you do, or at least have some fun, right? So I come from a public sector background. If you didn't hear it in the first episode, 24 years in the Air Force, about 20 of those in public affairs, mostly working in video, creating documentaries, training videos, things like that. And even though I'm now with Team Adobe, I love the fact that I still get to connect with my public sector friends. In fact, one of the folks that's going to be on right now, his name is Nate Gallahan. He is really, truly one of my dear friends. We were deployed together in Afghanistan and had a chance to do a project that I think we both would admit is one of the best things we've ever done. It was called 30 Days for Afghanistan, and we basically traveled the whole country for 35 straight days because we got delayed, doing videos and vlogs and blogs and photos and communicating directly with folks that were, interested in what was happening in Afghanistan. And it was a really neat project. And even though it's the only time we ever worked together, we stayed close, and I'm really, really lucky to have him and his unique enthusiasm that you'll see shortly on this podcast. So without further ado, let's bring him in. Nathan Gallahan. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. It's really good to connect with you. So we go back longer than we should admit, because then people will know how old we are. But again, with this being the first season of this podcast, I'm basically finding people that I know, so that it's easy and comfortable. And then we'll see. And then maybe I'll start talking to people that challenge me. Because let's be honest, Nathan, you're not going to challenge me.
Not really. I mean, I wish that my intellectual horsepower would get anywhere close to yours, but it's just not.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
it's good stuff, and I just appreciate the invite and the opportunity to kind of talk this stuff out, because it is really topics that are important to me. So enjoy the opportunity, Ken. Thank you.
No, man, for sure. I mean, we both know what it's like in the public sector to feel like you're the only person swimming upstream trying to make things happen. And the whole idea behind this podcast is to make that person in their office right now who's like, oh, how am I going to do this? Not feel alone. But I always like to start off the podcast with one of our hard hitting questions. Okay. So settle in, get ready.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Donuts or bagels?
Ooh. Uh, so I'll say neither, because like I'm a competitive cyclist, so health and wellness is really important to me, and a balanced nutrition plan is really important. And so both donuts and bagels would totally blow my nutrition plan out of the water on the macronutrient of carbohydrate. So neither. I would have, yeah. We
What?
could do a whole other podcast. I know. Wake up, Ken. Wake up. But no, there's too many yeah, I can't balance out the rest of my day if I had a donut or a bagel. It would
Which is the
just
worst
ruin it. Yeah.
answer ever, Nathan.
I know. It's
Ever.
super boring. I'm sorry.
What's funny is that I won't talk about your past here because this is a public forum, right? I knew you when donuts and bagels were probably in in the rotation.
Oh yeah. Oh well,
before
back in the day.
competitive cycling.
Oh, back in the day. Oh, totally donuts. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, donuts all the way. Back then, but not today.
Not anymore. That's cool. Now I'm proud of you, man. I know you've been taking care of your health and staying fit. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been a life change, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. So tell me, just for the audience's sake, what's your name? What's your current role? And what are you doing now for the public sector?
Sure. So I'm Nate Gallahan. I've known Ken for a long time. And I'm currently the state public affairs specialist for the Natural Resources Conservation Service in Washington, which is a small federal agency buried under the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And we help landowners improve their natural resources. So farmers, ranchers, forest landowners, you name it, we're there with programs and technical assistance to help them improve their natural resources. Additionally, I'm also retired Air Force Public Affairs, where I knew Ken for years. And there I worked in every level of the military PA world, from the base all the way up to working for the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Martin Dempsey in Dunford, and worked on some committees for Michelle Obama, and then took all that stuff down to the Air University where I taught strategic leadership communications. So been at it for a bit. Been at it for a bit.
Dude, your resume is impressive actually to listen to because I've known you all these years, and you're like, oh, I'm doing this job now, and I'm doing this job now, and you look back, you're like, wow, that adds up to a pretty impressive career, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then you look at your little LinkedIn thing, and it's just makes you feel old. So I don't, it's like I feel I physically and like mentally, it's like I feel young, and it's like last night I'm sitting there being, a man baby playing Call of Duty with my dad and stuff, and then it's like, look at me, I'm super young at heart, and then I look at that stuff, and it's like, oh my goodness, like
Yeah.
it's like I'm getting old actually.
I know what you mean. Every time I have to say I have 24 years of experience at something, I'm like, oh, yikes.
Yeah, I mean, it's no kidding,
Yeah.
so it is what it is, I mean, yeah, it's good stuff, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, and one of the things I've always enjoyed about you is that your level of passion for what you do. I feel like there's very few folks, if anybody, I've met that can meet that. And I know when you took this position that you're in now, and you're explaining to me what impact you make by making sure farmers get the information they need to help them help the land. Like it just kind of blew me away. So
yeah.
what I'd like you to do is if you could think about something you've done in your current position, that you're really proud of, what would that be?
Well, so in my current role, when I first got hired into it, my boss jokingly refers to me as a COVID baby. And so I came in 2020 to a position that hadn't been filled for 8 months. My predecessor had left in April, and then throughout that summer, they realized, "Oh my goodness, we can't, like, live without this person. We need," because they tried to do public affairs with a committee, didn't work, and so they had to do something. So they went out and basically hired a contract public affairs person to work full, it was with an organization called TAEA, and so I came in under a TAEA contract. It was just me, and it was COVID, and I was sitting in my office, like right here where I'm speaking to all of you from, trying to figure out conservation. Back then, the only thing I knew about conservation was like if you go to the bathroom and there's like a toilet with 1 raindrop or 3 raindrop button, that it's like you use the 1 raindrop button, you're conserving water now, like
You're a hero.
I'm a hero because I pressed the 1 raindrop. That's all I knew, and so I was trying to figure it all out from my home office, and coming from the military into this world, it was just so different. I proved not only my worth, but the worth of outreach and communications as a strategy, as a as something required, and
Something valuable.
something valuable. I put the stamp of success on what we call application rates, like how many applications are we receiving for program support? And when we first started, we had like less than 800. And now, currently, right now, today in the system, we have over 2,000.
Wow. So that's something I want to ask you about because I know when you're working in communications, public affairs, when you're working in a creative business that's either, you're making videos or you're, less creative in the sense where you're making, let's say, documents have to go out, wherever they may be. When
Yep.
your job is communicating to audiences, one of the hardest things we always hear about is metrics. How do we show success? How do we show that the work we're putting in? Because we all know people are working hard. They're working long hours. They're working with limited means at times, limited tools, and then they're being told that, oh, but we don't have a way to quantify your efforts, so maybe we're cutting back staff or maybe we're
Mhm.
trying to add more work to you. So kind of following up with what you've already started on, like how did you find ways to build metrics into what you do, and have you done this before to where you had like a history with it so that when you came into this position you're like, okay, I need metrics?
So th- that what you just asked, in my opinion, is the golden egg of outreach communications, our work, metrics. I am jealous of other professions that are so quantitative
Mhm.
because they can say, we did this many things, we built this many widgets. Look at how many widgets we built. Oh my goodness, we're really good at this. We're succeeding because this quarter we had more widgets than last quarter. Well, we are involved in a qualitative profession where it's much more, is the right word, nebulous. It's like harder to get your hands around, like how much impact are we having. You used a word, uh the word audience to me is caustic. Like nobody
Mm.
in our profession, it should be very limited to use the word audience. YouTube has audience. I, as a communications professional, deal with publics, to be totally nerdy, or communities, because I want the reciprocality of communications. I want to listen as much as I speak.
Oh, I
And
love
so
that. Yeah.
you don't listen to audiences, right? And
Right.
so, oh,
But
we're going to
although you
target
should.
audiences. It's like, I'm not in the military, people. I don't target anybody. We don't target audiences. We
Engage
focus
with
on,
communities.
engage with communities, focus on communities, things like that.
I
And
love that.
so when it comes to like metrics, when I was in the military, and what I'm seeing the profession doing is starting to like lean in on like social media metrics and stuff, which are cute, but you know, just somebody clicking a like doesn't
Mhm.
mean that there was effective communications. And so I'm not much, it's important to collect every metrics. So for us, it's pretty easy with our application rates. And if there's something USDA is really, really good at, it's data. I've never
Yeah.
seen anything like it. And so I'm kind of lucky in that world to have data.
So it sounds like you have to be, as a communicator, whoever it is you're communicating to, be aware of your community that you have responsibility for. And then within that community, what is the end goal, right?
Mhm.
Because no matter where you work in public affairs, public relations, like you do have a goal, right? If it's, I
Oh
worked
yeah.
recently with, TxDOT, right? Texas Department of Transportation. Their goal is to make sure that they don't have 1,000 cars on I-10 when the bridge is closed, right? And so I imagine if I was working, I'm just making this up, but if I was working for an organization like that, I could say, last time the bridge was closed, we had this delay and this many complaints, right? We did this
Mhm.
communication strategy. Now we've had less complaints, less
Yes.
delays. So to me, it sounds like you have to always be thinking about what is the end result? What's the attitude change or the action
Yeah.
that you're hoping your,
The intended effect. Yeah.
yeah, like what your community's going to make. That's
Yep.
really cool, man. See, I knew it was worth bringing you on this podcast.
Huh? Well, I'm good at pretending. I mean, but if you really, I'm just good at public affairsing you, man. It's
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, we got make me
I'm
into
good at
for
PAing people.
yeah,
But
there you go.
I
That's
mean, but it is important. I mean, and you hit on something that's really important. It's understanding the community. Understanding who is it that you're communicating with, what are their values, what's the culture, especially like me in the natural resources arena. There's a huge difference between ranchers and dairymen. I mean, there's a huge difference in priorities and in needs, and being able to speak to those needs and be able to speak those lingos, and then doing so authentically, right?
yeah.
Because it gets to like, I'm not allowed to wear a cowboy hat because I'm not a rancher. If I wore a cowboy hat into a convention center full of ranchers, I would stick out like a sore thumb, and it just wouldn't work. And so you have to lead with authenticity. And I'm proud of my ignorance, that it's like I don't understand it because I'm a military guy. I'm a
Yeah.
retired military guy.
Well,
And
and
that's
that's
my
why you
whole
were telling me
thrust.
you usually go in your, competitive cycling outfit.
I do. I wear it about 24/7. You know what I
That gets the conversation going really quick.
Oh yeah. People are like, "What?" I'm like, "Hey,
Are you
this is
lost?
what I do. This is who I am. This is my authentic self."
So let me switch gears a little bit.
Sure.
Bike pun, um, and talk about leading teams. Right? You've led teams when you were in uniform. You're leading teams now as a civilian.
Yep.
How do you keep creative teams, public affairs teams motivated? You know, sometimes the work is not the most fun. Right? We know this. How do we? But it's important work always. So how do we do that? How do you keep these teams motivated to create their best work?
Yeah, I think for me, it's passion.
Hmm.
You can't lead and motivate without you yourself being passionate about the topic. And I'm a fervent believer that you cannot be passionate about a topic without having some skin in the game, without some intelligence, without some understanding about it. And so for me, it's like getting a chance to go out and meet landowners and see the impact we're having, and then seeing how amazing it is, and being able to tie individual stories into this greater meaning of strategy that has been the joy of my career since the inception of my public affairs stuff. Because like we it went well, we were both maintenance, right? And so you're sitting
Yeah.
there and all you're doing is working on a widget. And then it's like, oh my goodness, I hate working on widgets, or this widget's hard. But then you have the public affairs person come in and be like, look, you're working on this widget, but it's a part of this greater machine, which is a part of this, which is a part of that, which is national security. And you're like, oh my goodness, I never thought about it that way.
Hmm.
And so when you can connect these individual stories and these things with this greater stuff, and you can really become passionate about the details, by understanding the strategy, you can see the amazing within the specificity, within the specific individual stuff. And if you can pull out that beauty, then I think that there's passion there, and then that drives my team, because then it's like, "Oh my goodness, I'm not just going out and taking a picture of something something, but it's part of this greater construct of communication strategy that's driving the social narrative around our organization and its relationships with our key communities."
Yeah, man.
Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. I mean, I'm thinking about my role with Adobe now, right? So like my role as a solutions consultant, very business term, but like what I do is I talk to public sector teams. And what I'm always thinking about with every little task I have that comes across my desk is that I want to be the person that helps make a public sector team person, whether it's the whole team or the individual, more efficient, better at their jobs, and being able to have fun with the work that they do. Like that's who's in my mind. It's like I
Mhm.
want that person to feel better about the tools they have, the job they're doing, and I want them to not feel alone. I want them to feel
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm using these Adobe tools, and I actually know somebody through Adobe I can reach out to and get some help. And
It
so I know what you mean, because like if I just sit in my desk and I'm like, oh, there's another call, Teams call I have to jump on, or
Mhm.
oh, I have to, fill out this thing for whatever, this request for travel. If I get like wrapped up in those details of things, then yeah, you can get bitter. Like
You
guys
can.
are, and I know I definitely felt that at times throughout my career where it's like, why do I have to do this thing? It's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this thing because it connects to this thing, that connects
Yep.
to this thing, that connects to this thing that finally gets us to where we want to be, which is making a difference, hopefully for somebody else. Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, and I can only imagine, like, because I've confronted those times throughout my whole career, and that's where, yeah, just being able to keep your eye on this bigger stuff, and it's fun. Like, to
Yeah.
me, it's fun. It's like a little puzzle. It's like, okay, I'm looking at this, but I know there's a reason for it. There's a reason for this, and you connect, 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 connect. And, some people are like, "Oh, you're just PA-ing it. They're worthless." And it's like, no, like, honest, this isn't PA-ing anything. This is
Right.
like fundamentally understanding how the machine is put together, and all the important little bits, and then by creating, by sharing, by all the stuff, you're not only raising the morale of the people that you're working with to or whatnot, but then you can see, oh wow, I'm doing this, and it and is inherently, makes your job super fun.
Yeah. And you don't have to pretend to like all the pieces, right?
No.
You know? Oh, there's plenty of stuff where I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this could be done better. This could be done
Right.
differently," and I'll mumble under my breath and get
Right.
by, right?
Oh, no, I mean, every day of my professional career working for the federal government, it's been challenged, It's not like I'm sitting around, I come to work every day and it's like, "Oh, I love everything about it," the
Right.
bureaucracy, the challenge,
Yeah,
but it's
there's
all
challenges.
worth it because it's like I know what I'm doing. I come into work every day and I'm helping people.
So I wanna move on to one other question here with you, which is, so, all right, a lot of people are working on their own, right? It's a one deep office, and, they're maybe creating the same kind of product over and over again.
Yep.
Even though you and I stayed close friends throughout all these years, we only worked together briefly,
Mhm.
in Afghanistan
Thank
together.
goodness. Yeah.
I know the world
Thank
couldn't handle us both. This podcast might just crash because we're both on it.
Right?
Uh, but no, I mean, what I liked about you is you're always interested in learning new things and
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, I'm trying to remember your trajectory now. I can't remember if you started off with graphics or photo. I think you went from graphics to photo and then you started to play with video, but wherever the
No. No,
right?
I was core public affairs.
No, but I mean on your like side hobbies, like because I know your
Oh,
core public affairs, but you're
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
I'm going to learn graphics now. Like you built a web page while we're in Afghanistan. Like you've
yeah.
always learned how to do cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What advice would you give to creatives who feel like they are completely alone and are just struggling with staying inspired and staying creative?
Uh, always be curious and, find a tribe, find the group of like-minded people that you can, converse with and enjoy, whether, it's the Adobe community. Adobe has a lot of great communities to be involved with. There's other professional organizations that you can be involved with, and just be curious and, and explore. And for me, it's just about, being the best I possibly can be. It's boring being normal. It really is. I have no interest in being normal. I want to, push the limits and be the best I can be. And that's fun to me. And the challenge is fun. And I'm doing all of this challenge and funness for a really good reason, which is saving family farming. And
Has anybody actually accused you of being normal?
no.
Okay, cool.
No, no, everybody I interact with is like, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah, especially when
Like,
you show up on the ranch in the competitive cyclist outfit.
yeah, I mean, it leaves a mark on them subconsciously.
All right, this is gonna be a tough question, I think. I know it's one that you might need a moment to think about, but
Sure.
I think it's a good one. It doesn't have to be work related. This could literally just be anything, right? This is just like about you, Nate.
Yeah.
Like, if you could master one skill, what would it be and why?
Uh, there's so many, but if I would okay, I'll choose one that's, like, completely outside of the realm of what I'm assuming this podcast is about. I would want to master, playing piano
Oh, interesting.
because create creatively, I love photography, I love web design, I love all this stuff. I have a piano sitting, 2 feet from me, behind me and to my left, and I don't play it enough, and I believe that it's an element of my spirit that I have yet to explore to its full potential. And, it's another element of, like, it's fun learning, and it's fun doing stuff completely that I'm unfamiliar with and getting, good at it, and I haven't done it yet, and, yeah, it's like, being an infant with something and then approaching something new in life, and you get to learn it, and that journey is really amazing, and so that would be one skill I'd like to master, and plus music is so joyful, and being able to contribute to that and to bring joy to people's life audibly, where so much of my life has been dedicated to bringing joy visually, I think would be a nice rounding out of my emotional and physical skill sets, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I appreciate you sharing that with us, and I do that because I don't want to forget, like, we're people. Like, we're all people first, right? We got
Yeah.
jobs, we got missions, we got things, but we got people. We're all individual, desires and things we want to do, and I just want to remind people listening to this to not forget that. Work is going to take what work needs, but you are a person with interests, and hopefully, you can get motivated to pursue those too. Because I think if you're taking care of yourself and those interests, I mean, like you do with competitive cycling, like at least you've got that, right? Maybe piano is not getting the attention it deserves yet, but like with that, with that, it's a piece of just you that is you, right? And that spills into your work because you feel like, oh, I have taken care of myself, I've done my thing, right? And now I can give what I need to the people I need to give to. So that's really cool, man. Well, this was a ton of fun. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, man.
Yeah, it was. This was a good time. I appreciate the invite, and hopefully there was something in there, that somebody can take away.
Oh, I'm gonna cut this up and make you sound ridiculous, but I appreciate it.
Sounds good, Ken. Well, thanks.
You bet. Take care.